Okay, so we're back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
And this time, we have a really fascinating collection of sources.
I think they are pretty fascinating.
But a really interesting historical mystery.
Definitely a mystery.
And so what we're trying to do is sort of like extract the key insights for you.
Yeah.
Right? So you can sort of think of this as like a shortcut to understanding, this kind of complex and scandalous crime that really kind of gripped the nation, when it happened.
For sure.
So today we're going to plunge into the Hall Mills murder case of 1922.
Yes, we are.
Which happened in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
That's right.
And this wasn't just sort of like a local tragedy.
Right.
This really was a national sensation.
Yeah, it really was.
That, exposed secrets, ruined reputations, and most significantly, it remains unsolved.
That's the biggest part of this.
Even a century later.
You got it.
So, okay. Yeah. Imagine sort of this backdrop of forbidden love, right?
Simmering beneath the surface of like this respectable community. Then a brutal double murder.
Right.
Just rocks everything. Yeah. Okay. Add in like a trial that becomes like a total media spectacle and a crime scene that has details that seem like they're ripped from a dark, fiction novel or something like that.
Absolutely.
That's the world that we're stowing into as we examine this Hall Mills case.
For sure.
So, at the heart of this tragic drama are really these central figures, right?
Right.
And so first we have Reverend Edward Wheeler Hall.
Yes.
Okay, this guy was like a pillar of the community.
Yeah, he was a well-respected guy.
The wealthy and respected minister of St. John the Evangelist Church.
That's right.
And, known for his charm and involvement in, like, local affairs.
Yeah, total upstanding guy.
He just, he projected this image of upstanding piety.
Absolutely. But beneath that revered exterior, he was entangled in a secret affair.
Yes, he was.
So, and the woman who held his affection was Eleanor Mills.
Okay.
She is described as like a really vibrant and beautiful woman.
Yes.
She sang in the church choir. And her marriage to like James Mills, who was a local janitor, was widely considered to be unhappy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And Eleanor herself was known to like enjoy male attention.
Yes.
And wasn't really subtle about her flirtation.
Well,
including her affair with Reverend Hall.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So, I mean,
they're pretty open about it, I guess.
Yeah. So that's what's striking as we sort of like start to look closer at this, right?
Okay.
Is the almost brazen nature of their relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking passionate love letters that were incredibly found at the crime scene.
Their like secluded meetings seem to be common knowledge around town. Eleanor even reportedly bragged to friends about her involvement with the Reverend.
Okay.
So it's almost as if they were like daring the community or maybe someone in particular to take notice.
Yeah. So it seems like somebody was watching.
And that brings us to this unsettling feeling as you kind of like delve into the details that someone was watching them.
Right.
Right. Their secret, while perhaps like an open one in some circles, clearly wasn't universally accepted. And ultimately, someone wanted them silenced permanently.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So these intertwined lives, marked by this, increasingly risky affair, were heading towards this tragic and violent end.
It was a bad situation. Yeah.
So the relative tranquility of this, September day in 1922. Was brutally shattered on September 16th. A young couple out for a stroll along De Russey's Lane, which was a known lover's lane, just outside of New Brunswick, stumbled upon a truly horrific scene.
Yeah. So what did they find?
Try to picture what they must have encountered.
Okay.
Lying in the underbrush were two bodies.
Okay.
They weren't just discarded.
Right.
The way they were positioned side by side suggests this like deliberate arrangement.
Oh, wow.
The scene itself was gruesome.
Okay.
Reverend Hall had been shot once in the head.
Oh, my gosh.
And the manner of Eleanor Mills's death was especially brutal, disturbing.
Yeah, how so?
Her throat had been viciously slit.
Oh, God.
The cut was so deep it almost entirely severed her head.
Oh, my.
And adding to this, grim tableau, bloodstained love letters were scattered around their bodies, this stark evidence of their forbidden relationship.
Wow, that's a statement.
But there was another detail, a particularly chilling one. Eleanor's tongue had been cut out.
Oh, my God.
It's a really macabre element that strongly suggests that, the motive went beyond just ending their lives.
Yeah.
Maybe a twisted form of punishment.
Right.
A silencing beyond death.
Oh, wow.
Or like a deeply symbolic act.
Yeah, that's
So as you consider this detail, you can imagine the shock and horror that this would have instilled in the community.
For sure.
And the victims were quickly identified as Reverend Edward Hall and Eleanor Mills.
Okay.
And the news sent shockwaves through New Brunswick. So you can imagine the intense reaction.
Oh, yeah.
The town's respected minister and a married choir singer discovered murdered together in such a violent and intimate way. It just screamed crime of passion.
It really did.
So the question on everyone's mind was, who could have committed such a heinous act?
Right. Who would do this?
So the initial focus
of the investigation very quickly centered on Frances Hall.
Okay.
Edward's wealthy and socially prominent wife.
Oh, okay.
Her family.
Okay.
The Stevens brothers.
Okay.
Henry and William.
Okay.
Were like deeply entrenched
okay.
within New Jersey's elite circles.
Right.
And had this reputation for being fiercely protective of their own, particularly Frances.
Right.
So while Frances Hall publicly maintained that she had no knowledge of the affair, it seems like the community was very skeptical.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So the rumors and whispers must have been just like, pervasive?
I bet.
So did Frances Hall know more than she let on to the authorities? And were her powerful brothers involved in some way?
Right.
Did they take it upon themselves to avenge their sister's honor in such a brutal and decisive manner?
Yeah, that's a big question.
So
what was Frances Hall's true understanding of her husband's infidelity? And what